Hi and welcome to The Wedding Club, a podcast by Biagas Fans.
Woo-hoo.
I'm Chloe and I'm with the Clears today. So
I'm Claire with the brown hair, just in case you couldn't tell.
And I'm Claire with the blonde hair.
Yay! And today we've got something quite fun. We did a wedding fair in Hensol Castle, one of our favourite venues, the other day, and we asked you guys to ask us some questions.
Can we take a moment for the cards there?
Beautiful, beautiful. And
I
then
feel like a newsreader.
Yeah. Adorable.
There's the question.
And yeah, so we're going to be going through them, giving our wisdom, or maybe
Our two pennies worth.
that. And yeah, we hope it's helpful in some way.
Yeah.
Well, it should be helpful to the people who wrote the question.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
At the
even
very
if it's just helpful for one person,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Obviously, we aren't the know-it-alls, but we're just going to give you some advice. Yeah, take it or leave it.
Exactly.
Okay, my first question. Oh my gosh, it's a bit of a hard one actually. My mother is taking over my wedding. What should I do?
Ooh.
That is tough.
That's quite tough.
I think mothers do have a tendency to take over things because we feel we need to nurture our children more. But I think in this case, you need to sit down with your mum. Just you two, not obviously losing your rag. And say, hey mum, I want to choose my own flowers.
Yeah.
I want to choose my colours. I want to choose my decor.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that you may be paying for this.
That's the tricky part.
And I'm
isn't
really
it?
thankful, and I can't thank you enough. However, it is my wedding. Please, butt out.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people are probably nervous to even bring up this conversation, and rather they're just like, oh, I'll just let my mum have her way, because they might be nervous that the mum might pull out altogether and go, well, if you're not having this, if you're not listening to my opinion or what I want you to do, then I'm not going to give you any money.
Maybe a good thing to do is before you actually need to have this conversation, say to your mum and dad or mum, wherever, and sit them down beforehand and say, look, I really appreciate you paying for this wedding. Is there anything particular that's important to you that we need to incorporate on this day so that we can make sure that we have that in your wedding? So some might say, because you've been brought up a Catholic, for example, that we want a church wedding. And things like that. Or some might say, your grandpa needs to be sat at the top table.
Yeah. That's quite a good, almost like middle ground, because you can still, or say even if they were like, you need to have roses, because that's what I always imagined for your wedding.
Yeah.
Like,
but then you can have that
could be a way of-
conversation beforehand without actually, going to see the florist and your mum saying it there, and it becomes more of a cantankerous conversation.
Yeah, especially in
Where your
front of
mother's
the supplier.
insisting.
Yeah, absolutely. Because,
because that can put you in a...
yeah, it can put us in an awkward spot because you want to obviously listen to the bride. But yeah, I understand if mum's paying for it, she wants her say as well. But hopefully it doesn't happen that often, and that surely the bride should get her way, and mum should go along with that.
Yeah.
Many years ago, I had one that the mum was making all the decisions, and they were kind of like punching it out in the showroom.
Yeah, awkward.
Not having a fight,
Yeah.
you know.
It doesn't happen often.
Verbally.
Verbally. Which is quite awkward. So I would sit down and have that conversation before you even go on any appointments.
Yeah.
Or say to your mum, I love your help and I'd love you to come and help me choose a wedding dress, but I don't need you at all the appointments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because me and soon-to-be partner want to do it.
Yeah. That could be a good way of spinning it, is like you can come to like one of my appointments,
And the
which
Catholic
one,
Church, if that's what they're choosing.
Yeah.
is the mum. Yeah.
which one would be the most important one for you to be involved in, and then the other ones, if you'd let me take my own lead,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yeah. Because then you're having your wedding of your choice,
Yeah.
choosing, instead of your mum or dad making up all those things for you. So I think that kind of answers that one, doesn't it?
Yeah. Come on, a few
Who's
options.
next?
Can a bride do a speech?
Hell yes.
Well,
course.
I did on my wedding day.
God,
I stood
50
up.
years ago?
Oh my goodness.
I didn't realise it was a thing
Not
back
that long
then.
ago, but I did. I just wanted to say my thanks to people,
Yeah.
especially because people have come from far and wide. So yeah, absolutely, you do what you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do one, then yeah, don't force yourself.
No. I think it's nice for brides to stand up and talk like the groom does about the groom, about your family.
Yeah, because I think it's almost like a bit old-fashioned now to not have both.
I agree.
Because I guess back in the day, it was like the father giving the daughter away to then be the groom's bride.
Yeah.
But then now it's a bit less that and a bit more just like the joining of the two people, isn't it? So
the union.
yeah. So I think it's quite nice for everyone to do a speech.
Yeah, me too.
And I love to talk, so I'd quite like to do a speech.
I was really nervous standing
Oh yeah.
and speaking to people.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it. And when I look back on my video, I think, oh yeah, everyone appreciated that. And it was just my little way of saying, hi, I'm still here as well. And like you said, traditionally, it doesn't have to just be the bride's father and the best man.
Exactly.
Because you have things you want to say.
Exactly. Because I've seen people have like the maid of honour do speeches now as well. Like
I
kind of
love
everyone
those.
gets involved.
I
so.
love a maid of honour. Have you seen the one where she actually made a song?
No.
I think it was she was the maid of honour, but she was a sister as well.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
It was so cool.
It was, yeah, really
Oh my
good.
god, just look it up on something and find it. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can sing a song when your wedding clothes.
Oh, thank you.
Do you know my two aunties stood up and they read a 50s style poem, and it was all about how a housewife should be. It was very traditional and very funny because it was sort
Was
of
it a bit
things like,
sexist?
yeah, very. Oh my god! For now, it was like put a ribbon in your hair when your husband comes home, and ask him how his day was. It was just really tongue in cheek.
god!
But it was so funny,
It
and
was like on
and it became a tradition for the family. So it was like my aunties did it at my sister's wedding, and it was just really
That's
cute.
fun.
And it's very 50s.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those, like an old scroll, and she kind of opened it up, and it was really cute.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That is cute.
But yeah, to round that off, definitely, I think a bride should do a speech if you want to.
If you want to.
Yeah. So this question asks, is there a nice way to ask people to not post any pictures of our day before we do?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate it. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it is really infuriating when, like, say you've spent all of this money to decorate your venue and then you look 20 minutes later and someone's posted it on their Instagram stories.
Or even worse, you're walking down the aisle and everybody turns around and it's on their phones, taking pictures, and then when you're doing your vows, they're posting them.
Yeah.
But the first
Crazy.
look of your wedding should be you posting them.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I think people are getting that a little bit more now. I think that's less of a need to be said, but also at the same time I do think people still need to be reminded because they just want photos of everything, and I get that. Like wanting their own photos of the day because they enjoyed it, and that is almost like a bit of a compliment in itself. But I think a good way to let people know is maybe we have a lot of couples having like a sign at the beginning, just before their ceremony room.
Yeah, and the
which
registrar
says-
quite often can announce it for you now as well. So they will mention it at the beginning. The
And
bride and groom have requested no photos and please no posting on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could have it in the newspapers that people are having now that we've
yeah?
seen more.
Yeah.
On each chair in the
Yeah.
ceremony. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way as well because people love those. to
Or
read
if you have a
through.
wedding website, which I think is a great idea, which we did touch on last week, then you could put it on there as well. There's lots
Yeah.
of ways of telling them politely.
Yeah.
It's like they can have photos of themselves outside the venue in their nice outfits and stuff and post that, but definitely nothing of the wedding.
Yeah, I think I did mention that in one of our other episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, as long as you can take photos and post them of, like, say you and your outfit in the venue, but just as long as there's nothing that the bride or the groom has paid for in the background of the photos, or you're not posting like centerpieces before they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know, if you're an evening guest only, I'm always thinking all day, I wonder if I'll get a little sneaky peek of the bride.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't really want to because that's going to ruin the surprise, but I'm always peeking.
In other words, Claire's stalking every bride and groom
Stalking.
or
And I've
couple.
had loads of weddings this year, but I'm very respectful of not posting anything until afterwards
Yeah.
because I think that's the way you should do it.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think so.
Yeah.
Because even if the bride and groom don't care, even if the couple don't care, it's still just like common
Imagine it
courtesy
was a
kind of
really
thing.
bad photo of you as well.
Yeah, true.
And you'd like spent £1 million on your wedding and you were looking amazing and glam and someone got you from the side with a really big
Oh my
fat double
goodness.
chin
Oh God,
and posted it.
That's definitely my nightmares right there.
And mine.
Okay, so I've got we actually have a vegan here, so we can answer this question. There are a lot of vegans at our wedding. What should I feed them? Okay. Well, this is also down to the hotel or venue that you've chosen, or if you've got caterers that are coming to a marquee, wherever, you can ask them what choices they have available.
Yeah.
And then perhaps if you ask a few of your vegan friends which they prefer, because sometimes it's quite boring, because I'm a veggie. It's like always the same kind of foods, isn't it?
Yeah, but also it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't think you should be like staying up thinking about it, because a lot of the time, like, I'll go to anywhere, and if there's just like the one vegan option, I'll just have what I'm given.
Yeah.
And normally, like, the starters are soup anyway, so if it's like tomato and basil soup, that's normally vegan. And then a lot of the times the like dessert is like a pre-bought, like, say, a chocolate tort or something like that is vegan.
I'm hungry now talking about all this.
And they're normally quite allergen friendly as well, so they're just a good one. I think a lot of caterers have those.
What's the main usually? I can't think, but there's always the same kind of main.
Yeah, so normally the sides will be quite similar.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen before, the sides are normally the same. Especially if there's a lot of veggies and vegans, I think the chefs would be mindful to just make every side at least vegetarian, so then they can just put it on everything, because it makes their lives easier as well.
True.
And I've had like a Wellington, kind of like a mushroom Wellington.
God, I hate that.
I love a nut roast. I love everything like that. So I'm
not vegan or
happy.
vegetarian, as you know, but I would still sometimes choose the veggie meal over the
Yeah,
because
they are yummy.
I like they're tastier.
A butternut squash, like phyllo pastry thing.
I was gonna say sometimes there's like a little phyllo pastry, like a little
That'd be better.
vegetable.
How much input do the brides have on her menu then? Because usually the
It
chef will give you
depends.
some options, and
They might literally
So that'd be
be
options. Yeah.
something that says vegan option,
Yeah.
and then that's that. So you might not even know.
in
But
advance.
a lot of the time, I think people will be fine with eating what they get,
Yeah.
especially because there is a 3-course meal as well.
Yeah.
So they'll just eat the bits that they do like.
and have 2 desserts
Yeah.
from
And
somewhere.
fill up on bread.
And
Yeah.
and as well, you're paying for their food. So
Yeah.
if they're not
Don't
happy
overthink
with
it.
Yeah.
if they're not happy with what you're giving them, then that's more on them than it is on you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Like
No.
I said, I'd be happy with whatever I had.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Don't invite mum to your weddings.
Yeah, I
'cause
don't want
she's
beef Wellington that's pretend beef and is. Bleh.
picky girl.
Okay, Claire, you're next.
Okay, what do we have? Okay, do you think you should hire or buy a suit?
I think higher.
Depends what look you're going for, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, unless it's something really quite unique that
Yeah.
you don't see, so you kind of have to have it specially made.
Yeah.
Or as well, if the groom or whoever's wearing the suit just wants to wear a suit and keep it.
Yeah.
Because they might think, oh, well, the bride's dress is being kept, so I want to keep my suit as well, because it's a special suit from a special day.
And sometimes they wear it again anyway.
Yeah.
Depends on the choices. Like if it's
Yeah.
top hat and tails kind of look.
Yeah, you're not going to wear that again, are you?
No, and you would hire that. And then the people you're hiring off would make it more custom, so they take it in and take it up. Because there's nothing worse than seeing a groom with baggy trousers that are ill-fitting.
Pulling at his shoes.
I hate it. I hate it. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
And can you please take your belongings out of your pockets before you have your photos groomed?
Oh, God, yeah.
I've seen photos recently with grooms with stuff in their pockets, and it just looks like a
horrible.
bulging mess.
Oh, that's not good.
The one day that you probably should clean out your pockets is your wedding day, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Because those
definitely.
photos, they're just going to be like the outlines
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like your phone, your wallet,
Yeah.
And your
a
change.
piece of
your
tissue.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean your
Yeah.
pockets out. Give it to your best man. That's their duties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hire or buy? I think I see a lot of people now say they're going to buy. So a lot of them saying they'll buy
Nice.
because they want custom colours or some kind of tweed, which is also lovely
Nice,
now,
yeah.
really in, isn't it, at the moment? But yeah.
Bye.
I'm easy. I'd say hire or buy.
Yeah. Depending
Which
on what
doesn't
you
answer
want.
the question at all.
Yeah, depending on what you want.
Depends on what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
I think visit a lot of different like suit makers or like
like
different-
Nathan Palmer. He's in Swansea way, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's a man's designer.
There you go.
Bespoke. Oh my God, he makes these
Wow.
divine suits. Yeah.
Because
Buy.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, maybe.
Go to wedding fairs as well and
Yeah.
kind of see who's there, because a lot of the times there is like menswear
Double menswear
stalls.
usually.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have lovely suits. They were.
And they're
always the
higher
one.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And they are actually, because I think of somebody who hires a suit off is quite old-fashioned, but they've got some really great pieces now.
Yeah.
All of these places.
yeah. So just have a look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then if you don't see what you're after, then maybe buying is the best option.
And if you go for a black and white event, anyway, so it's black tie.
Yeah.
A lot of black and white now,
Could
isn't there?
buy that
Yeah.
because you could wear that again for New Year's Eve.
Of course you could.
Or another black tie wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're up, Chloe.
Okay, so this person said, my dress needs altering. Where should I take it? Can I just go to a seamstress?
No, well,
I think most places will have a recommended seamstress, won't they?
yeah.
And it'll be someone who kind of specializes
Yeah.
in dresses, because God forbid you just take it to like the person who you go to, like your nan's
Yeah.
bestie.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
In lots of towns around by us, there's these ones who just like take up trousers, etc.
Yeah.
You don't
you-
take it to those.
You definitely need a specialist, don't you?
Yeah.
The shop that you're buying your dress from will recommend somebody that they use all the time
Absolutely.
because they'll be able to match that material
Yeah.
exactly if you need a panel put in or
yeah.
something taken out. You know, you definitely need a bridal company to recommend it.
Yeah. That's something that you do not want to risk.
No.
Like-
Imagine they mess up your dress.
Yeah.
And
After
2 days
spending all
before.
that money as well,
Yeah,
and then just to get a
exactly.
simple alteration done wrong would be disastrous.
Or they take it up
Yeah.
too much and it's up to your knees. Oh my God.
Did you know apparently you can take a dress in by 2 sizes?
I've never had that problem, unfortunately.
It's harder to make it bigger than it is to make it smaller.
I guess
But,
that makes sense.
yeah.
But
but
wow.
when you go to try, because I worked in a dress shop previously in Cardiff, and so we would always recommend brides size up anyway, which makes you feel slightly worse because obviously you don't want to be that size, but they can take it down by 2 dress sizes.
And then
easier.
it's still just in case.
Yeah.
'Cause it's already so stressful for a bride that you don't want to also then stress about getting into your wedding dress.
We had a
So,
bride
2000s.
once who actually got pregnant between her booking and actual date and had twins.
Wow.
And they were at the wedding.
Oh.
They were so cute as well.
That's so
wow.
cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, take it to either a recommended seamstress,
Go to a specialist.
go to a specialist.
Okay, so the next question. What do I do about the leftover flowers the next day? Okay, well, I think you take them away with you because there's nothing worse than going to a venue the next day and seeing lots of flowers just left.
It's quite sad.
And you can always leave a note saying, Claire Wells from Be Our Guest, can you please take these? Because I know you love flowers.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll gladly have them.
Yeah.
Because I've taken them all, I've literally taken flowers before and I've taken them all out of Oasis or wherever they're
and
in
split them up.
and put them in vases all around my house then.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's exactly something that you could do.
Yeah.
And you can then gift it, like your bridesmaids could take their bouquets away.
Yeah,
That'd be quite
definitely.
nice.
Yeah.
And then just like any table centerpieces if they're fresh as well. Just, take them out of the Oasis that they're in because they don't have to stay in there. And give everyone a little thank you bouquet.
little bunch.
Yeah.
Cute.
And put some on some people who've passed away.
Yeah, of course.
Grapes.
But that's actually why a lot of people now don't always use fresh, isn't it? Because they don't like to see the waste the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're so expensive,
Yeah.
and just to see them afterwards, and I'm assuming they're cut flowers, so they're not going to get the water they need on the day, and they're just kind of wilting by the next morning.
Yeah.
However, definitely don't leave them. Take as many as you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And I think, and I've seen someone at a wedding fair recently that preserves your bridal bouquets.
Oh, in
I
resin?
love
In
that.
resin.
I love that.
I love that.
Or like pressing the flowers as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
so
you can
then
have
put
them,
in a
dry them out
frame.
and put them in a frame. That's lovely
Love
too.
it.
Yeah, that's lovely too.
Yeah.
And then you could also have little coasters made for your mum and dad for Christmas or birthday,
Yeah.
reminding them of your day.
That's a lovely keepsake, isn't
Or
it?
granny and granddad.
Cute.
Love that.
Yes, so there's our answer to that.
So, what songs shall we play going down the aisle?
That's
That's the traditional one.
I'm guessing they're asking this because they don't want Here Comes the Bride.
Oh my gosh, we were standing next to a string quartet, weren't we, in the wedding fair?
Oh, they were amazing.
Oh, there's so many options. Lots of people were asking to play the Bridgerton theme tune.
I was going to say,
yes.
just like Bridgerton, you can make so many songs
Yeah.
sound like a song to walk down the aisle
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
They were superb.
Oh my
They were playing
God, I get
modern stuff,
bumps
and it was
thinking
just
about it.
in that kind of traditional.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, oh my gosh, that sound was
Modern
lovely.
yet traditional.
Yeah.
I think is more of it.
Yeah.
And
Something that's personal to you, I guess.
Oh, what's that song that I love where it goes, every day I have died. I don't know the words. China. Do, do, do,
I know
do,
what you mean.
do, 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 do,
Thousand Years.
Yeah,
Twilight.
That's quite
Is it from
emotional.
Twilight?
It is from Twilight. It's on it's the wedding song.
That woman is really famous for that song now, isn't she?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
I love that
one.
song. That's a
Feel
nice
Box.
song.
Yeah.
Or
You
you
can have
could
so
go
many.
rock down the aisle to an AC/DC song played on a harp.
I was gonna say that's a
like
really
it.
good way to like show your personality a little bit
yeah.
in your wedding.
Yeah.
If you have a song that isn't a traditional wedding song, you could have, say, a string quartet or a harpist or anyone like that, a piano player, play that song and make it sound wedding-y. And that's
love
quite
that.
cute, I think. Taylor Swift is quite a popular option, of course. It makes sense.
Ed Sheeran probably.
Yeah. I've Harry Styles. I wouldn't say no. It's walking down
Of course
the
you wouldn't.
aisle to Harry Styles.
Daydream about Harry on the way down.
And also have a look on the Tube of Eunice to see if you can find some.
Yeah.
YouTube.
There's loads of
I've actually
covers.
searched once for a friend years ago for a song she wanted to dance with her dad. And it is a song that's
Oh my
Rowan
gosh.
Keating's sung.
Yes.
But somebody else did it before him, and oh my God, I cried my eyes out.
Oh my God. I think isn't it a Lionel Richie song? Dance with Your Father?
No, not that one.
Oh.
Oh, it might have been that one.
It's really
Anyway,
emotional.
Just look up a crying song to dance with dad.
Oh my God, it's really emotional, that is,
Crying
isn't it?
song. Okay, this one could be tea actually. So, are suppliers open to negotiating prices?
Oh God.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
The answer is no.
When we price up our work, is based on a few key factors.
It's not just the final product that you see.
No, what we don't charge for is your consultations that you when you come and see us. We don't charge for them separately. It's all the communication that we have, and you know, if you look back on emails that we sent to people, there's a lot of information gathering and talking online.
It's like emails, phone calls, Facebook, Insta.
So much, that we do then. And then to get your products out to the venue, for example, we have to wash everything that's going out. So your chair dressing.
Oh, there's so much work goes on behind the scenes.
Napkins.
Yeah.
And iron them.
Oh, washing, ironing. I mean,
Cutlery.
yeah.
For
charge
example,
plate.
one wedding this weekend come in has got 300 pink chiffons
Yeah.
to do a weave on a chair. So that takes quite a bit of time. You know,
300 pieces of things to iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything
wash.
else has got to be washed.
Yeah.
The pot
Wash,
and
iron,
cleaned.
dry. I mean,
So like our cylinder vases, for example, every time they go out, they wash, and every time they go out, they have probably have new batteries put in if there's false candles. You know, there's so much more than taking it to a venue and putting it down.
yeah.
There are
actual-
suppliers who do that.
Yeah.
But we are venue stylists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we pride ourselves in what we do.
Oh, yeah.
And you can talk to us as much as you want. Some people limit the times that they're talking as well.
And don't forget as well, so we go out, set up on the morning,
Yeah.
and then we're there the following day. So that's in four trips.
And that's not just one person going out and setting up.
Exactly.
On
It's
our-
usually a
on our
minimum of
cases.
3, isn't it? So
No,
Minimum of two.
2.
if they finish in another venue and it's a big wedding, we'll go and go back and do that one with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be like up to literally, we've had 6 people dressing
Yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a biggie.
If it's a big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So
And that's-
all of that is included in the cost that you see. So when
Yeah.
you're looking at a floral ball cost, you're thinking, why does that cost this? It's like, it's not just that.
And every time a floral arrangement of ours go out, we actually add more flowers to it because sometimes they can lose flowers in transit, etc., or they look a bit downtrodden. So we remove them, redo them,
Fluff them up.
fluff them up.
Yeah.
You know, so there's all that to consider as well.
The stands that they're actually on as well, we paint those. We make sure they look as nice as possible.
Yeah.
That goes
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't negotiate, because we know our worth.
I
And
can't
also-
talk about anyone else, so
Yeah.
I don't know whether other suppliers do or don't.
People ask about packages a lot, but we don't really have a package because everyone wants different.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So
to
It's very
personal.
hard. It's very
Gone
hard.
are the days of Jacobs and Bows.
Yeah.
If that's what we were doing back in the
Absolutely.
day.
And I always say to
then,
someone,
yeah.
you don't have to have everything. Of course you don't. You can pick and choose. And that's how, we go back and forth with a quote sometimes 4, 5, 6 times before it's confirmed.
Yeah.
And like, that's a lot of work. That is a
definitely.
lot of work.
Okay, next one is how do I ask for help of my bridesmaids?
Yeah, of course.
I think some bridesmaids take it as it's going to be a jolly. We might go away.
Like they get the little hamper, they're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm a bridesmaid. And that's it.
That's
Go on the
the
hen
thing,
do.
is you've got to consider the cost of admin bridesmaids. And I've written actually some down. So, for example, if you have a bridesmaid and groomsman boxes that everybody seems to do now with little things in, those little things quickly add up because I've done them before and they could be like, oh my God, ranging from 50 quid to a couple of hundred. And if they like the influencers everywhere who do it, they like thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those costs all add up, plus the cost of the bouquets, the makeup. Who pays for the makeup trials?
Yeah.
And then the makeup on the day and the hair on the day, and then all the other stuff that goes with it. So the going out for a hen do.
Yeah.
So lots of people now go away for a weekend and a
Yeah.
long weekend, Who pays for that? Obviously the bridesmaids, if they choose to go. So those are the implications you've got to think of. But I think generally from the get-go, you've got to say to them, you are my girls that I've chosen, that I love, that I want included on my wedding day in a special way. But I'm going to need your help.
Yeah.
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 Sit them down and say, look, can I give you all responsibilities, for example, to do something?
I've seen people say that where they literally divvy up different things for each person to do so it doesn't get overwhelming for those people then as well.
Yeah.
So like on the day responsibilities as well. It's like one person's gonna make sure the bride is okay and like just stick with the bride and then that's that one person's job and then the other person's job is to like look after the parents or do something
That's a
like
good
that.
idea, actually.
Yeah. Rather than just like telling everyone these are the jobs, because then that can get overwhelming. You don't want to overwhelm everyone.
Especially
Even
on
a
the
few days
day, I think is
before.
really important because the bride does not need to be stressed.
No.
If somebody running around, oh my God, this person hasn't turned up, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So you need to give those out to other people. And
Yeah.
remember, bridesmaids, it's not about you on that day.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
about the bride.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we're dressing weddings, we often do get the bridesmaids come in to have a look just to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Because say the bride's getting her makeup done, and they'll come down. Normally they do have their hair and makeup done. They look really cute, and they're like, "Is there anything we need to do to help? Have these been put out?" Like they have a list almost to go
Yeah.
through,
Yeah, that's
and they
great.
double check with us as well, and that's more than fine.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're there to help anyway. And then again, that takes it off the bride a bit. But just ask them. I think
Yeah.
that's the easiest way because you can't.
From the get-go.
Yeah. And then you don't want to expect them to think that they're doing something when you haven't asked them
Yeah.
and then get annoyed when they're not doing anything because it's like,
And choose good bridesmaids. Choose
Yeah.
your closest friends that
Yeah.
you know are going to be really helpful.
definitely.
Yeah, don't choose your long-lost cousin's friend.
Yeah, niece's daughter's
Yeah.
best friend because she's
Yeah.
got a friend on the day.
And
yeah,
she'll look cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, you don't always have to have flower girls. You can have your granny walking down the aisle.
Oh,
I love flower grannies.
We talk about the granny ones quite a lot on this.
with the
I love
basket
it.
and the petals.
Yeah.
And the,
Or the groomsmen going down with like
Yeah.
a little bum bag thing on, chucking them out.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Someone was there was a video on TikTok and they were throwing out shots. Like that is the sign of
Oh
a
my
really good
God.
wedding. Shots, little shot bottles, and they were throwing them out instead of petals.
Oh,
and
my
like
word.
literally all of the guests were like having these shots. You knew that was going to be a good wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have kind of a joint question.
Oh.
So how do I pick my bridesmaids and keep the peace?
Oh, picking them is the harder one.
Yeah. I think first of all, you don't even need to have bridesmaids. I've seen people
You don't have to. Yeah.
recently, especially just say I'm not going to have anyone, especially if it is like a smaller wedding. They're just like, well, all my closest family and friends are going to be there anyway, so I don't want to have to choose between anyone. So I'm not going to. And I think that's more than fine. You don't need to have anyone. But as just like a general rule, maybe just choose your best friends.
The people you see often.
Yeah.
Or like your childhood friends that may moved away, but you still see a lot or talk a lot
Speak to them a lot. Yeah.
Those are the people you want. You don't want, people that you really don't know that well either.
Yeah. And like, you don't want to be like asking someone to be a bridesmaid just to keep the peace, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate that idea.
Yeah.
It's quite a personal thing, isn't it? And they're going to be around you when you're stressed or, when you're getting ready.
Yeah.
And the old boobies are out. And you might not feel comfortable with that in front of somebody you really don't know.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Definitely.
I think.
And don't fall into the trap of having to choose someone.
Yeah. I think an easy choice is, again, best friends that you speak to the most often. And then say if you have a sister or a sibling, they could be the maid of honour.
Yeah.
So then your friends aren't like, well, why did she pick you instead of me? I thought I was her best friend. You're clearly not her best friend, blah, blah, blah. She'd be like, well, it's my sister.
And also, remember, you can have a man... What are they called when a man is a bridesmaid?
A groomsman.
No.
Bridesman.
Bridesman. Which I love the idea of having that, because if it's your best friend,
yeah, of course,
have him as your bridesman.
Yeah.
Lou just said a groomsmaid. That's literally the opposite.
Groomsmaid.
That's a woman on the groom's party.
Yeah.
We can do that too.
Yeah.
He was like, groomsmaid. Like he was really clever because he just thought that.
There's loads more questions that we have. I think we're going to have to conclude it to another episode because otherwise we're going to be here for hours going through.
Talking non-stop.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying this and we'll pick it up next week.
Yeah. Come back for part 2.
Yay.